Down we go. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Just wait till Group B hears about this, having another confrontation with the Liberation Front. The terrorists have complete control of the mine. They've taken the miners hostage, and the attempt to enter the mine may put their lives in jeopardy. Oh, here we go again with this quarrel. And that's why you're standing out here twiddling your thumbs without even attempting to negotiate with them? They clearly have an objective in mind here. We can't allow them to buy any further time. It looks like a pretty heated argument. So the terrorists have taken over the mine. And as the first ones on the scenes, the provincial army has taken it upon themselves to set up a blockade. Or at least that's what it looks like at first glance. But why? Man, this has suspicious written all over it. Yep, the provincial army is too well prepared. No matter how you look at this, they gotta be in on it. You can't be serious. In on it? The terrorists set off some kind of explosion in there. Look at all the smoke pouring out. That's what they want you to think. That doesn't look like smoke from a fire to me. They're probably using smoke grenades. Smoke grenades? I mean, you're a Jaeger, so I expect you to know this, Fee. So you probably are onto something. If that's true, that means the provincial army has some other reason for blockading the mine. Maybe it's got something to do with the Rhineford's first factory. Oh, that's right, the RMP were investigating the first factory too, weren't they? Yeah, that's what Captain Claire said, and that makes the timing of all this look pretty damn suspect. Almost like there's something they're trying to hide. That'd mean they sealed the mine to give them time to dispose of it. Makes a fair bit of sense to me, if you think about it. What could they be trying to hide? What's down there? No way to know for sure right now. What I can say, though, is that it's pretty likely the miners are in danger. We need to find some way to help them if we can. Let's return to Rower for now. We need to think carefully about what to do next. Alisa. Yep, if we're going in, it's better to have a plan. Alright, let's head back. You're gonna make me go back after all that? Please teleport me back. That'd be really stupid if I had to backtrack on my own. Okay, good. They just bring me back instantly.
Well, to start with, we need to work out exactly what's going on here.
If it's true that the terrorists are working with the Noble faction, then it seems likely their aim is to eliminate the evidence of whatever they've been hiding in the first factory.
But did they really have to go this far? The iron mine is owned by His Majesty the Emperor himself, right?
That's right. The province of Nortia is tasked with managing it while Rhineford mines, refines, and processes the iron.
Oh, I've been saying Nortia. It's Nortia. My mistake.
And iron is the single most vital natural resource to this nation's continued survival. If this isn't resolved quickly, it's going to deal a heavy blow to the entire country, including the nobles themselves.
So I guess the question is just whether the Noble faction and the terrorists realize that or not. Sounds to me like they're a pretty divided bunch as it is.
Yep. The terrorists seem like they're basically all commoners, too. They're only cooperating because they both see the Chancellor as a common enemy.
And if that's the case, it seems pretty likely that what they're doing here is related to that somehow.
Sounds like someone started the party without me.
Where'd you come from? I mean, this is in House Ragnar territory, but still. And George.
Angelica?
You came too, George? Yo, figured you'd show up eventually.
Well, we had to test the sidecar, obviously.
Spike is just full of surprises. We made the trip to Ruhr in 7 hours.
Only 7 hours, no big deal.
So, speed-wise, we're looking great. Comfort, though, we're gonna have to tweak a few things.
I swear, you two never change. Kinda figured Toho wouldn't be able to make it too.
Yeah, she's working on gathering a boatload of information, though. She said she'd be in touch if she finds anything out.
That's reassuring at least.
Could someone tell me what's going on?
You seem to be hot on the trail of something, but I'm not sure it's the same thing we're investigating.
Does this have something to do with those family affairs you told me you were worried about?
Yeah, it does. I had some nagging suspicions about it. Unfortunately, my hunch turned out to be right on the money.
Hold on. Isn't the director of the first factory...
My dear Uncle Heidel Ragnar.
Oh, that's where you relate. Okay.
Seems like it might do us both some good to swap info. How about it?
Now let's find a better place to talk.
Yo, what if Angelica joins our team? We know she can
You're
fight.
dumping iron onto the black market?
How dare you interrupt me, Alisa?
Yeah. The amount of steel they're producing doesn't quite match up with the amount of iron ore being mined. That's been the case for quite a few years now.
Officially, the reason given is that the purity of the ore being mined is lower now than it used to be. But if you look at what's coming out of the mine, there's no evidence of that.
Well, that would explain why the figures don't add up.
And because they were feeding the raw iron onto the black market rather than the finished steel...
That makes it a lot harder to notice when a little goes missing here and there.
Man, Toa put all the pieces together on her own?
I'd expect no less from my beloved Toa.
She poured over everything. Reinford's yearly sales figures, government reports on the mine's productivity, you name it.
Toa is amazing.
That's how she picked up on the discrepancy.
She's really something else.
Iron ore being sold off the black market, accounting sheets that don't add up. George, how much iron ore is unaccounted for, roughly speaking? Do you know? Assuming for a moment that all the missing iron was refined into steel, how much steel would we be looking at?
This is just a bit of speculative math on my part, but I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 Torum, which is enough to build 2,000 oxen tanks.
2,000?
That's practically an army.
The Saxon iron mine is a pillar of the Empire's economy. The amount of iron they pull out of there is almost ridiculous. Even if you pocket a small amount every year, it's going to add up to a lot of iron real quick.
But what are they planning to do with all of it? Is the noble faction trying to make their own tanks in secret?
They couldn't even if they wanted to. Only the second factory has the knowledge and equipment to make tanks. And not only does the second factory have close ties with the Imperial Army, it also leans toward the reformist faction.
You need all kinds of complicated technology to make even a basic tank. It's not as simple as just grabbing some steel, some blueprints, and some grease and getting to work.
So what does that leave them? Selling the iron to another country for profit? I don't know how likely that is. Seems like deals that big would be too easy to trace.
Okay, so setting aside the ore itself for a moment, now that you know this, and given what's happening in Ruhr right now, what were the two of you planning on doing?
Oh. It's pretty simple. My uncle oversees the first factory, and the provincial army is blockading the mine. There's no way my family isn't involved. On the other side, you've got all the miners just trying to do their jobs who got dragged into this whole mess. I'm a Ragnar. I might not be a great daughter, but there's no way I'm gonna let this go on without putting up a fight.
Very fair.
Angie.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're seriously gonna go talk to your old man about this?
Hell no. Like he'd even listen to a word I said. Same goes for the provincial army. I'd just be wasting my breath. That's why I'm planning on sorting out this mess myself. I used to work part-time in the mine. I know the place like the back of my hand.
How convenient.
As long as I can find my way inside, I think I can handle the terrorists well enough.
Yo, sick. We should team up and we'll beat C once and for all. Because he whipped us pretty hard back in Heimdall.
I figured you'd say something like that.
Honestly, does nothing faze you?
In that case, I'd like to ask that you take us along.
We can look at this as a test of how to best respond to a sudden crisis.
I mean, we've been in other sudden crises before. This is a sudden crisis, but this isn't the first one.
Looking at it from that perspective, I think it fits neatly within the scope of our field study. And you?
Yeah, basically everything does at this point.
Yeah, after hearing all that, I don't want to let them have their way.
Agreed.
I'm with Angelica here. My family's involved in this too. I feel like I have a duty to do something about it.
Thanks. Truth be told, I was kind of hoping you'd back me up anyway. Whatever help you can give, I'll take it.
Well, that's that.
The next thing we need to consider is how to slip into the mine without the provincial army taking notice. At the very least, Angie should be able to get the officer in charge to talk with her, but...
So, what, we sneak inside while she's distracting them?
I don't know. That sounds a little overly simplistic to work.
Leave finding our way in to me. If anyone's good at cutting red tape, it's my mother. Maybe she could help us out.
There's no way.
She could. Would she?
Yeah, good point. I don't think she would.
Well, if you think so.
Alright, I'll leave securing an alternate route to you then. For now, I'm gonna see if I can find out anything else about my family's or the Provincial Army's involvement here. George, give Toa a call and see if you can find out what the Imperial government is doing about all this.
Gotcha. I'll see if I can turn up any machinery that might be useful too.
This is starting to feel like last year's field studies all over again.
We were glad to have George, Angelica, and Toa backing us up in a crisis like this. We need all the help we can get. And as our first order of business, we went to Chairman Irina, hoping she'd know some way to sneak into the mine. Oh, I can't wait to see how this goes. Alright, peace out. We should get going too. Your mother should be back at the Renfrew headquarters by now, right? I think so. Sharon, I don't know why I said Sharon. Sharon said she'd be in around noon. We can always just ask the reception desk though. Yep. Looks like we'll be kicking into high gear again. I feel like every field study is destined to end up like this. Yeah, it's just a formulaic nature, I guess, at this point. Let's head to that Rhineford corporate HQ. Lady Alisa, thank goodness you're alright. I was worried when I heard you left the city. Oh, you're talking about the trouble at the mine, right? Actually, I was hoping to talk with Mother about that. Is she in her office right now? Chairman Irina returned just a short while ago. Would you like me to set up an appointment? Please. Yes, that's right. Lady Alisa has understood. She says she could see you right now, though she can't spare more than a few minutes. Ah, typical Irina. If you want to head up right now, she's waiting for you in her office. Thank you, this shouldn't take long. Alright, let's head up to floor 23. Right? Why do I get the feeling Sharon's gonna be right there to welcome us? You can count on it. Yeah, there's no way this is gonna go well at all. Will Irina listen to us? Probably not. Traveling 23rd floor will cause the main story to advance. Hold up, hold up. How do I report this quest? I mean, it's required, so I hope it's gonna report automatically. Yeah, I'm gonna assume it reports automatically. If it doesn't, whatever, but it's a mandatory quest, so it should. Yeah, travel to 23rd floor. It's a required quest, so it should report automatically. Plus, we can't contact the Provincial Army right now. Oh, hey, Sharon.
Welcome back, everyone. I've been waiting for you.
Yes, I expected that.
I knew it.
Like the rising of the sun.
I see how it is. You're taking Rhineford's side again, huh?
As long as I wear this uniform, I'm simply a humble maid of the Rhineford household. You, the chairman, and Master Gwyn are all deeply important to me.
Thanks, I think. Show us in then.
Of course. Please follow me.
Alright, moment of truth. Will Irina understand? Probably not. She'll understand, but she won't tell us anything.
Bring them in.
As you wish.
Mother, we need to see you.
Excuse us.
I apologize for canceling our dinner plans last night. But it's looking unlikely I'll be able to join you tonight either.
No, that's fine. We understand.
It's hardly surprising given the current circumstances.
I'm not sure what's keeping you so busy, considering you haven't even managed to fulfill one of your most basic duties.
My lady.
The miners who work at Saxon are employees of this company. With the Provincial Army barricading the mine and refusing to budge, those miners are at the mercy of the terrorists. I assume you've issued a formal objection to Marquis Ragnar?
Not on behalf of the company, no. It sounds like Director Heidel Ragnar of the First Factory has requested something be done as a formality, but nothing more.
That's it? The First first factory has been dumping huge amounts of ore onto the black market for years now. Don't even try and tell me you haven't noticed it.
Of course I've noticed. Being unable to bring the first factory in line allowed that to happen, and that's my failure, I admit. But think, if we assume the terrorists aren't acting alone here, what good would it do to issue an objection to Marquis Ragnar?
Well...
There are many possible outcomes to this crisis, and we must be prepared for all of them. For example, we need to consider the possibility that the terrorists may set off an explosive in the mine, and how to respond to that. This is a global company. Measures will need to be put in place to protect stock prices, taking cross-spell into account.
She's got a point. Anything that affects the Rhineford Company is going to indirectly affect a lot of people's lives.
Correct. The Rhineford Group is its own entity with its own role to fill, and I have mine as chairman. The Provincial Army and the RMP are acting in accordance with their purpose, and one might even say the same of the terrorists. Action with a purpose. That's what keeps the world in motion. So tell me, what's your purpose?
Well...
If you get what I'm saying, I suggest you leave. I expect the explosion at the military factory is the extent of the damage the terrorists will cause here. I'll give you several additional tasks. I suggest you work on those for the remainder of the day. And considering the situation here, I think it'd be best if you leave Ruhr tomorrow morning.
Oh, we got a day short of our field study.
You have my permission as a sitting director on the Academy's board.
But...
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not going to keep making the same mistakes anymore.
Oh?
All my life, I've turned a blind eye to what was going on right in front of me. I did it when you drove grandfather out and took his position as chairman. And I did it when father died and you let work become your life. All along, you've been working to build the company bigger and bigger, and all along, I just looked the other way. But in our field studies at Thor's, I've seen the imbalances and injustices of the world crop up over and over again. But even with that, I, and all of us, really, have to face that head on. And that's exactly what we've been doing. You asked what our purpose is. After 6 months at the Academy, that's my answer.
Well said.
Agreed.
That's why this time, I don't plan on backing down. You need to hear the truth, and I need to be the one to tell you. As your daughter, as your family, and above all, as someone who's watched the Rhineford Company grow ever since I was a little girl. Mother, you're running this company the wrong way.
My lady.
Sorry, I had to text someone really quick.
Can I assume you, in your infinite wisdom, are planning to tell me the correct way to run my company?
Naturally. But I still need more experience before I can do that. I promise you, though, that by the time I graduate from the Academy, I'll show you how this company should be run.
That's a promise.
As someone who just might succeed you as the chairman someday, I should be able to do at least that much.
What was that whistle?
It's one thing to make a promise. It's quite another to live up to it. Still, at least you're starting to see the bigger picture.
Mother.
Give it to her, Sharon.
Certainly. Here, my lady.
The card key.
What's this? Some kind of key card?
Correct. It opens the door to a passage that connects Ruhr City to the Iron Mine.
Yo, I think this is Irina kind of redeeming herself a bit. Still not fully changing, but you know, kind of redeeming herself. And accepting her daughter more.
Wait.
There's really a secret passage?
The former chairman built it for use in case of an emergency. You'll find the entrance in the underground part of a maintenance room on the upper level of the city.
If we use that passage...
We should be able to completely avoid having to deal with the Provincial Army.
I'm not going to say thanks. Right now, I just believe this is the best way to press forward. And I'm going to tell you why through actions, not words.
Excuse us, Madam Chairman. We've learned a lot during our field studies, and we'll put it all to use to come out on top.
You don't need to worry about us.
They've grown a lot in the last 6 months. It's been a pleasure to watch them. Surely it wouldn't hurt to acknowledge that Lady Alisa has grown too.
She's still got a ways to go. If she wants to take the mantle of the Rhineford Company from me, she'll have to show me she's got what it takes. Anyway, it seems all our principal players have assembled. Can I ask you to do one more thing for me?
Certainly.
Oh, what's that mean? I did like that, though. Rosetta Arrow becomes Judgment Arrow. Okay. That's like a little result of Elisa's resolve. I like that, you know, like actions speak louder than words. I also like how Elisa's like, oh, I'm not gonna thank you. I'm just gonna show you, like, through my actions, how to thank you. Like, that was really well done. Nice little character moment for Alisa. After our meeting, we contacted Angelica and George, agreed to meet in front of the maintenance room that hid the entrance to the secret passage of your mind.